I have to wonder what they're going to put in my food. When I go to a movie theater, I have to watch and say, hey, is that guy in tattoos looking at me? Does he remember me from somewhere? This is more than just about politics. This is about self-sacrifice. This is about a commitment to the public. This is about a commitment to the district attorney's office that's taken place for 17 years. I have tried to run a campaign as a prosecutor, as a professional. My opponent's adversaries decided to run the campaign like it was a divorce case, like it was a family law case. And because they can't possibly compare the qualifications and the experience in the jury trial, they decided to go after my divorce. In fact, someone of my opponent's supporters suggested if my ex-wife came forward and said anything today, then maybe she would be subjected to aggravated perjury. The grand jury is not a toy. The grand jury is not something to oppress people, your opponents. It's not something you use to clean out your district attorney's office to solve your personnel problems. The grand jury is responsible for people's lives. Whether you have a criminal record or not, how people look at you for the rest of your life, that's what the grand jury is for. That's what it's for. Not to be used just to find out who's tattletelling on you. District Attorney's Office is a very important position, and it should be treated that way. The motion in limine that Ms. Jimenez said on television was a serious motion to rebut whatever Rene Rodriguez was going to do. On the very front of that motion, which I copied and sent to every single one of you, it says received by the district attorney's office. You do not file something with yourself. It was a joke. If you read through my analysis 1 through 9, I illustrated, without saying anything negative about Ms. Jimenez, not attacking her personally, but what I did is I showed you as a prosecutor, as a trial lawyer, as someone who's interested in the truth, those types of things do not happen in the court of law. A lawyer is not allowed to say objection, BS, objection, what the F. You're not allowed to use that type of profanity in the courtroom because the judge would throw your little behind bars and tap you with a fine. I attached in the notebook that was sent to you the second motion in limine, which was the real one that was filed. So the father of the victim expressed as a complaint, hey, I'm worried about Rene Rodriguez doing this kind of stuff, and Ms. Jimenez turned it into a joke between her and Rene Rodriguez. 6-year-old children were victims of crime at that time. I don't think there's anything funny about raping of a child. It wouldn't even occur to me to write that type of filth. Now, it's bad enough to write it. Just say, hey, it was a joke. It was in bad taste. And initially, that's what she said. Channel 3 talked to her, and she said it was a joke. And apparently the handlers got to her, she changed her story and said, no, it was serious. Thank you. And that's when the cover-up begins. And she starts talking about, well, someone leaked it was serious, and what have you. Well, Channel 3 talked to some other folks in the office, and they said, yes, she was laughing about it. They said, yes, she was laughing about it. The real motion in limine shows what a lawyer should do, not making fun of that. And then poor Sandra, who has gotten life in prison on Hannah Overton for killing a small child, she ends up getting fired. She's made the scapegoat for her mistake. Ladies and gentlemen, the district attorney's office is too serious a responsibility to hand it over to someone who doesn't have the confidence to surround themselves with good people. The demotion of Mark Skirka and Gail Lowe, board certified attorneys, and and she gets on television and says, well, board certified anyone can do that. Well, no, actually. You have to have a minimum of 50 jury trials. You have to be able to write appeals. There are certain standards there, but they were removed, and Renee Rodriguez's son, Robert, ended up getting promoted. And her organizational chart, you have Lee Person supervising nobody, and you also have Jim Lawrence supervising nobody, and you have Lisa Harris supervising 15 people. There's no one available to teach. It's not fiscally responsible to be spending all that managerial money on someone to supervise nobody. I've given you a flow chart of how I would spread it out, putting Mark Skirka down to asset forfeitures like taking your star running back and making him an offensive lineman. And that's what she did for the political gain. She cannot win in November because there's no credibility, because people can't possibly believe what she said based on the social limiting on other stuff. I will ask for your vote. Thank you.
Technical adjustment.
Test. Can you hear it back there?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for being here today. Can everyone hear me back there? I'm going to spend my 10 minutes telling you a little bit about what's really going on in the district attorney's office, and I'll reserve any questions you have about the things James claims later on for your question and answer time. I want you to know that I am very, very proud and honored to stand here before all of you as your first female and first Republican district attorney in Nueces County, Texas. It was an honor. It was an honor to be appointed, and that honor I know I owe to God and of course to Governor Rick Perry for choosing me. There were several candidates that interviewed for this position, and me, a little girl from Corpus Christi, Texas, actually got to go to the state capitol to interview for such an awesome position. And that was by the grace of God that I was able to do something like that, and by the grace of God that I was given this opportunity. I want to thank a lot of the people that made this possible, and there are many people here in this room today, either through prayer, through support, through friendship, and through that dedication to the same cause that we have when we work to better our community. I've had many, many supportive people who have come through my life, and I thank you for being here with me tonight. You all know who you are. And to my husband, thanks for bearing with me. I know that this has been a hard, hard thing for us to go through as a family. And I appreciate it, and I love you. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you about where I've come from and where I've been and what I'm doing for this community. I am the youngest of 9 children. We grew up here in Corpus Christi. My mom had an 8th grade education. But you know what? She had that entrepreneurial spirit, and she cleaned houses, and she saved part of my dad's check from the fire department where he worked really hard, and she bought a business, a store, on the north side of Corpus Christi. And in that business, she worked very hard to support 9 children. And my father, who was the captain of the fire department, would work 24-hour shifts. And he would come home at 8 o'clock in the morning from his shift. He'd change clothes and he'd go straight to the store and work on his feet all day until 8 o'clock at night to support 9 children, because it was important to them that they do what they needed to do to feed their children rather than depending on anyone else to do it for them. I come from a very conservative background. I come from a background that is Catholic and devout Catholic. We believe in life. We were taught to respect life. We were taught to respect each other. We were taught to work hard. And we were taught to serve our community. In the district attorney's office, we have a big duty, a big responsibility to this community. And what I have done in the district attorney's office, with the help of everybody there, is to do what's desperately been needed. Before